Hey, welcome to the Tim and Gugabe podcast. This is Tim talking, and Gugabe, how are you doing? I know you're state bound right now, right?
Good day, Al. Howdy, Al. Yeah, I'm over in New Orleans at the moment. It's been pretty good.
Yeah, aren't so. Yeah, for the listeners, Gugabe and I'm actually going to be going to UFC. What numbered card is it? The Romero.
248.
Yeah, 248 in Vegas. So if anyone's there and they just want to I don't know, meet up at the event or whatever, just give me a Twitter DM or Gugabe. But and aren't you going to New York? You're in New Orleans right now. You're going to Chicago, New York, just checking out the states for the first time.
Yeah, pretty much. Been to Hawaii a few times, but not really the mainland. It's been pretty good. Unfortunately, I missed the Hook and Felder main event because of the flight, but oh well, happens. Watch the rest of the card.
Okay, cool. We can recap just a
Yeah.
few of the fights on there and then go through and just to warn. I haven't even told you yet, but also the listeners. I just got a dog and he's chilling here with me. So if he barks randomly throughout the podcast, sorry. I can't leave the room without him crying, so I have to do it with him here. But yeah, we can start. We have to talk about Cachoeira. She's the fucking goat, and I was very very happy to see her win, just kind of as a fan.
Yeah, same here. It was kind of a meme knockout, but
Oh, for
she looked okay. She looked okay prior to that. As much of a sample as you can get of 40 seconds. Um, Logically, she should now be favourites against Joanna Jedrzejczyk, if based on the Swaley Zhang movement we're seeing.
Yeah, we can talk about that line later, but yeah, I was just happy because even though Cachoeira's kind of gotten dominated in a lot of fights, she just she's tough and goes for it. She fights. She's not the most skilled person, but
she could hang around lower level flyweight for a bit. She's aggressive and puts up volume. She also absorbs volume, but still.
She's also entertaining. Every fight she's had has been pretty talked about. I don't know.
Somebody has died. Every fight, somebody has been fucked up. There are women's flyweights I'm less interested in seeing the Cachoeira.
Yeah, for sure. Angela Hill and Loma, that was a pretty good fight.
It was. I was surprised it seemed to be the fight of the cards, as far as the gambling audience was concerned.
Yeah.
I swear there was more passionate debate about this fight than anything else.
Yeah, I thought about going on Hill minus 170, but I was like, nah. I think the line was about right. She looked like a little bit of a favorite, but it was close. It was a competitive fight.
Yeah, pretty much. I felt Lima was about right. That was kind of my feeling going into it. I did tape, and I sort of figured that Lima was good enough off her back. That a takedown was probably going to be a lost round for Lima, but it wasn't going to be an immediately lost fight. It wasn't like Ciphers or something where Hill would be able to immediately finish her.
Yeah.
And if I get playing minus 150 women's, minus 150 or if it's a minus 180 towards the close, I'm going to need them to have a grappling domination.
Yeah. If it was a minus 130 or something, then I probably would have pulled the trigger. But I don't know. I think she ended up looking like a 60%.
Yeah.
And you never know.
Also, if we could trust Hill to actually proactively go for takedowns frequently, possibly, but we can't trust her to do that. So
for sure. Kai Kara-France, Tyson Nam. Not much to say. It was pretty much volume versus power bust. Bust.
Nam looked okay. I had a small pop on Nam KO at plus 800, which I don't mind. Because KKF's usually pretty hittable, and I'll take a plus 800 KO shot in that sort of circumstances pretty happily. But KKF just busier.
Yeah, pretty much. Song Kanan just this was the one fight I just kind of caught the knockout and not the lead up to it, but I kind of heard it was just kind of whatever, and then he just knocked him out.
Potter actually didn't obviously Potter's got massive athletic issues and skill issues, and essentially everything. But he's just got issues in everything but heart. But Potter actually didn't look too bad till he got knocked the fuck out.
Yeah.
But again, Song kind of does look bad till he knocked people the fuck out. As a rule of thumb.
Yeah.
Song's not very good minute on minute, is he? I feel he's lost most of his UFC minutes. Even Hector Aldana won the first round pretty cleanly against Song.
Yeah. Matthews Mech. I figured this would be a little scrappy, and honestly, like if this was a 5-rounder, Mech would have taken it, but probably most likely, unless if like Matthews could have just like toughed out the cardio dump. But yeah, had he gassed like a minute prior, Mech would have probably won. I think Matthews, since he wrestled a lot, he kind of, maybe kind of came close to justifying his line, but he very well may have not wrestled, so.
Yeah, I played mech. I kind of figured it would be a scrappy fight. Plus 200. Yeah, this sort of spot I always take plus 200. Yeah, mech. Yeah, if Matthews decided to wrestle a bit less, or like
Yeah.
if he hadn't got like back control in round 2, because I feel like Mech against Usman and Fabinsky, at least Mech kept trying to get up. Against Matthews, I didn't feel like he was a lot more willing to just concede top position.
Yeah.
Which I felt if he'd just shown the same willingness to try and do something, it would have gassed Matthews a bit faster.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, just like a big shot landing in one of the first 2 rounds could have swung around for him, or just if Matthews had gassed earlier, like that's pretty close. Like, even though it was like clear 2 rounds to 1, that was just kind of like a couple minutes difference, Turner had an outrageous athletic and like size advantage over Cutelaba and just kind of murdered him. Zubaira with just it was kind of just a random knockout, but yeah, like Aguilar has just kind of got hurt twice now.
Yeah. I mean, volume was about even at the time of the knockout. I'm not gonna I had nothing on the fight. I'm not gonna pretend it was a hugely meaningful result.
Yeah, I don't think it's meaningful.
Tukikov probably takes it more often than not, saying he has the wrestling edge on top of the I guess the striking was competitive. Then again, I feel like Aguilar had a cardio edge, so it's kind of up in the air.
I see it like I didn't have any action on it. I see it as who the fuck knows. I mean, Aguilar could have knocked him out dead, and it could have happened too. Riddell and Mustafayev. Riddell, he impressed me. I thought he looked pretty good.
Yeah. I had Riddell put his old like medium size at like 2 point plus 120 or something like that. Yeah, it looks solid. He could legit be something in the division. Like Mustafayev essentially panic wrestled for most of that fight.
I do think like all those city kickboxing guys just randomly know how to defensive wrestle. It's really weird. They all like are good at digging double underhooks, and they're just like positionally aware. Kai Kara Fronts does that too. He kind of reminds me of him, and I do think Riddell, as far as like just offensively, might be limited at the lightweight division because he can't get his own takedowns and stuff, and you can't just outstrike everybody, So because striking is just a little more variance, and he still was getting caught up against the cage and grappled a little bit, but like he still looked good for sure.
Yeah, true. I think he's got decent ceiling at lightweight. Like, I don't think he's ever going to be like true title contention, but I think he can hang around, make it interesting for a bit.
Yeah,
he's at least a mid tier lightweight. Put it that way. Like Mustafayev is a good guy too.
Yeah. DeLima and Sicily, you called like I stayed away from this, but you called this one too. Like you kind of just fucked him up.
Yeah, like I went a lot heavier than I probably should have, because like when I saw Lima ITD was plus 225, I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Lima just was kind of better everywhere. Like, the way I saw it was just wholly either needed an epic gas out or a random one-punch knockout, because Lima just kind of had him covered everywhere. Like, Lima, as far as I'm concerned, was more athletic, was faster, was bigger, was taller, was longer, was a better striking, was a better striker, was the better grappler.
Yeah.
Like, it's heavyweight, but yeah, I just felt like Lima had him covered.
Lima has some good.
Lima's not bad.
Yeah, for like a heavyweight fighter, he's pretty well rounded. It's just he's kind of an idiot, and
but like it's heavyweight, who cares? Like there are ranked heavyweights I give him a good shot against.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I mean, yeah, even like the like Sakai is obviously one I always go on about. But even like I'd take Lima against Sakai.
Yeah, maybe. I think it'd be a competitive fight.
Yeah, like most of his fights would be pretty competitive. Like, and he throws good leg kicks, and like very few heavyweights deal with leg kicks well. They didn't show them much in this one, but like I think leg kicks are some of the more consistent sort of elements of striking.
Oh, for sure.
Especially when you've got really damaging leg kicks.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, yeah, no, totally. I mean, because it's kind of you can play a range game if you can do it.
Like, I mean, Lima would lose to Atlantic because. But
yeah.
we could all picture how Lima Atlantic would go, can't we?
Oh yeah, he would like.
Lima would be annihilating him for 3 minutes.
Oh yeah, and then he would slip on a banana peel and get subbed for sure.
And it would be a stupid. It would be like north-south choke or a scarf hold or.
Yeah, it would be the funniest one. And there would be like super heavy sides, like on both ends, everyone just yelling at each other. It would be great.
Yeah, good terms.
Jan Zonan and Carolina, this is actually, besides, we talk about Fury, Wilder just for a second after this, but I only play on this card. I just like played a little bit. Like I have a few, a couple 5 dimes accounts, and I played a point handicap Zonan because I figured if she won, I kind of thought she was just going to annihilate her,
Yeah, true.
And that's kind of what happened. But that was that was a mismatch.
Yeah, true. I think a lot of it is most of Carolina in this spot is kind of like a lot of it was getting her decline.
Yeah,
it's like even like the same with Spivac Tybura this week. It was just like Tybura has been showing a very strong negative trajectory, but it's hard to know exactly where he's going to be like form wise.
Yeah, for sure.
Like if I guess if Carolina had just kind of corrected the course a little bit, she would be a lot more. She'd be like evens or something against Jan, but like no, she's off the cliff. So, but yeah, I think that's sort of form question is just hard to predict a lot of the time.
Yeah, I do want to give credit to Jan though, because I think she's good. Like she hits pretty hard for a strawweight, and I don't know, she has like good kicks, good hands, and she keeps a high work rate,
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, she beat Angela Hill kind of handily on the feet for the most part when it was there. It was still a competitive fight though, but and I think Angela Hill's pretty decent. Krut Oleg Zaitchek. Krut just Matt returned him to death and annihilated him.
Well, I've grappled with Crow. I am shocked that Sajic got handled like that. But yeah, Crew's going to come for the light heavyweight title. Crew's probably the GOAT. I think it's all fair to say.
Yeah.
Like, the issue with that sort of performance, I think it's going to be one of those ones where it just turns out like a fight or two from now that it was just an Oleg Sajic issue. And like, but people are going to be assuming Crew's some grappling master. Like, he lost a round to Paul Craig in grappling.
And he didn't look that. I mean, and if you just look at like I don't know, his grappling didn't look great against Serkinov either. But like, I know Serkinov's a good grappler, but I don't know. Just look at like Glover, how he annihilated Serkinov on the mat. Yeah, I'd have to think about it more. But I mean, all he did, he just clasped his hands together. Like he got credited for 8 takedowns, and that is just completely wrong. There's 2 takedowns if you like. I've roughed wrestling forever. That was 2 takedowns, and he just clasped his hands together and just kept mat returning him every time he stood up. And then Oleg Zaitchik just didn't know what to do. But you see Murat get that position a lot. He kind of did it to Casey Kenny.
Yep.
But Hooker Felder, I've always been hard on Felder, and I don't know if he's going to retire or not. Like I've always been really hard on him just because he doesn't have like great wrestling, and I don't know, he doesn't really like outstrike anyone by a high margin, so his ceiling is kind of low. But I do want to give him props because of his durability and just he doesn't have holes anywhere either,
Yep.
So I feel like he also has a high floor. So he's kind of one of those guys where like I wouldn't play him minus 200 versus anyone, but if he's plus 200 versus anyone, he could be, I think that's the best way to describe him. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bunch of guys like that. Like, there's a bunch of guys they'll just hang in and have close fights. Like, Felder's rarely going to be dominant against anybody, is going to be dominant enough against anybody to justify minus 200.
Yeah.
But he's usually going to hang in there.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, how many times, apart from Trinaldo's the only guy I can think of is really dominant. Actually, I suppose, like, Trinaldo, Barboza the first time. Like, Felder has been dominated before. But like
but
he'll at least
not that dominated. Like there was still like I mean he lost clear, but it wasn't domination.
Yeah, sure.
But he I don't know. But it's like, who has he really dominated? I mean, I know he's got some finishes and stuff, but I'm talking about for like 3 rounds of just slaughtering. He hasn't really done that before. So it's kind of like, even though like I guess I'm now realizing he has a high floor, and I always just looked at him as having a low ceiling. So I just wanted to give him props because he can hang in there with a lot of good fighters, I feel. But yeah, and then we can talk about Fury Wilder. I played Fury, just my buddy who watches boxing. Were you interested in this at all?
I had a little bit. I watched it because it was on, but like not a strong betting interest or anything. I think I put like half a unit on like Wilder KO because I heard a bunch of people like Ujirate's opinion. Yeah. Honestly, yeah, I would have probably been more passionate, but I felt I watched both of their like most recent fights beforehand, and they both look kind of shit. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of what turned me off it because I was thinking like, yeah, both look good. Like the way Wilder lost every minute against Ortiz before knocking him out was concerning, and Fury just kind of milling around awkwardly against that German guy was also concerning.
Yeah, the way my buddy told me is he was just giving me like stats based about how like Fury statistically like for punch differential is just really really good, and Wilder is kind of he's gonna be KO or bust, and he was just like I don't know he was just like dude fade the KO like he thought to kind of destroy him, but I don't know that much about boxing. I mean, I watch it, but I couldn't make my own bets and be profitable in boxing. But all right, Benavidez and Figueiredo, decent card. There's some decent fights on here. Nothing like. I mean,
yeah, it's a good Tuesday night contender card.
there's a few fights that I like. But I guess it's just because the main event's awesome to where I'm kind of excited for the card, and then there's like I don't know, like Ankalaev Cutelaba's fun, and I'm excited to see kind of Gabriel Silva. I guess there's only a few good fights on here. The more I look at it, but I like the main event because Benavidez is fucking an all-time great in my opinion. But Naurdiev Brady. We'll start at the. Actually, that was the best fight.
I want best fight odds too.
Are you okay? Yeah, Naurdiev Brady. Do you have any opinions here?
Kind of leaning Naurdiev because like I'm not a big fan. I don't really rate much about Sean Brady. He just seems kind of generic dude. I played Court McGee against Brady, and like that should have been 29-28, and even that was quite a close round too.
Yeah.
Again, but I'm not sure how much I trust Naurdiev's like volume and cardio and output and all that sort of stuff. So like I wouldn't mind Naurdiev being a bit bigger of a favourite, but like I have no real strong opinion because Naurdiev's very flashy and cardio dumpy. Brady just kind of doesn't excite me whatsoever.
Yeah, I need to look into this a little more because my read on the feet is that Naurdiev actually does throw volume, and Brady does too. But I just feel like the defense is the difference on the feet. Where like Naurdiev has been very, very hard to hit, and Brady got landed on a lot. You know, like the strike count was close there, but Brady was landing the harder shot, so he like rightfully won against McGee, even though it should have been 29-28.
Yeah.
Brady kind of slowed down too versus McGee, but I need to look to see kind of Brady's wrestling because Naurdiev just like that issue. Once he's on his back, he kind of has issues getting up. So yeah, but I tend to think Naurdiev is probably the better striker here, and I'm kind of leaning him now, but I want to look into it more. I probably won't have any action.
Yeah, it's kind of my lane. I also think they're both kind of fresh enough that there's a decent amount of there's like natural variance.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So it's just like, even if you pick one side, it's like, how much there's just a chance either one could roundly progress or regress by a big step. So it's like, do I want to play into that?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Elon Cruz and Spike Carlyle. I have a play on Cruz here, and it's usually not the type of fight that I want to bet, but I don't know, he's 6 feet tall, 78-inch reach, and Spike Carlyle is 5'7", and it's just kind of like Elon Cruz. I just feel like I mean, he has to stop the grappling because Carlyle kind of wrestles hard for a few minutes, will look for a back take, and then gasses out, you know? And Alon Cruz is just he seems like he can competently wrestle. I kind of like his over-under game against the cage, and Carlyle ends up there a lot, so I tend to think Cruz will be I think he'll be okay there for sure. I think the singles and doubles that Spike shoot. I'm gonna rant for this fight for like a minute. Sorry. The singles and doubles Spike shoots. I think the single leg will allow Cruz to kind of get his tall man defensive wrestling going, where he could like turn it into a switch. And then the double I think could land, but once on the mat, Cruz is pretty good at just kind of just like practically going for the half guard and underhook, and he kind of just gets back up. And also on the feet, I think it's a mismatch. And Cruz was on pace in his contender series fight to break Covington's record for attempted strikes in a fight. I think he was at 328 when he got the knockout. So that's why I like him. Sorry that I kind of took that one over.
Yeah, it's fine. I have no real strong opinion here, so that's handy. As I said many times before, let's all pile in behind Tim so we can watch Cruz get knocked out inside a minute and laugh at him.
Yeah, I mean, it may happen. We never know.
As is tradition.
Yeah, that's just my personal lean, but I can get like if someone wants to pass too. But when I see a volume disparity like that and a size advantage, I'm just interested. Pena or TJ Brown, Jordan Griffin, pass.
Yeah, same. Bit of a mess. Like they both try and do something quite similar. I think Griffin should be leading, but like Griffin's got fight IQ issues and top position issues and that sort of stuff. So fuck that. And like I think it's gonna be one of those fights where it's gonna be more about Griffin throwing it away than necessarily Brown beating him. But on the other hand, Griffin would be so prone to throwing it away. So just like fuck that.
I think Brown's kind of like the overall better scrambler type of wrestler who will end up on top more, because Griffin will kind of just like end up on bottom a lot. But so I do know a couple of people who I respect who actually played Brown. But my issue with it, and like at plus money, I actually think I think he was like plus 120 or 125 at some point. I understand it, but my issue with it is he doesn't play hooks, like he doesn't put in body triangles, and that's when Griffin was held down by Chaz Skelly, when Chaz Skelly put in those body triangles. And when Ige was getting Griffin down, you remember how that became a scrambling it became a scrambly mess because Ige wasn't putting in body triangles. So it allowed Griffin to like get out. And so that's why I think this fight's going to be a scrambly mess. So it's going to be hard to predict. Spivac, Tybura.
Jesus.
Pass.
I'm just going to quote Spivac's entrance music, which was the highlights of my live attendance for UFC Adesanya Whitaker. It was just somebody screaming the word Spivac in like a strong Cyrillic accent for 4 minutes. It was beautiful. I was like Spivac's energy is just beyond anything. It's just I hope Spivac wins this. I like Spivac a lot. He lived in my shed for a solid 3 weeks after the UFC Melbourne to escape authorities. Yeah, seems like a decent guy. And Tybura is like Tybura does seem to be a corpse, so that's also in his favor. It's also in his favor. But like, I feel like a lot of playing this is going to depend on you having a strong opinion on whether Tybura is fucked or not. It's like I just don't want to play something where it could just be like Tybura could just fix the wagon, I guess, and like you can't really say.
Yeah, my thing with this fight is, and I haven't researched this one, I mean, I obviously know both guys, but I haven't researched it too much. But like, kind of my initial thoughts when I saw it was, Tybura's like very, he's declined a lot, like for sure. So obviously I have reservations playing him. But the thing with Spivac is he seems to be a guy who thrives with his offensive grappling, and Tybura has historically good takedown defense. And so I just can So it makes me think, like, if Spivac can't get his primary way of winning a fight going, then, like, what's going to happen? I don't really know. Like, maybe Spivac just fucks him up on the feet or something, but I haven't really seen him there, I guess. You know what I mean? That's kind of the dilemma that I'm having. So I don't really know what's going to happen here.
Spivac had some decent striking moments against Tuivasa.
Yeah, at times, yeah, for sure.
And, like, it looks like, I don't think Sakai's a massive hitter, and, like, he just killed Tybura, so I have a feeling that Tybura just can't take any solid shots anymore. But, yeah, just pass. Like, cause I feel like, if Tybura rocks up as he did in 2016, he's still skillful enough to to beat Spivac pretty handily. So you're really just betting on what sort of level of physical decline you think he's undergone. And that's just it's just too much volatility inherent in that sort of play.
There's too many questions. That's why there's volatility for sure. Breese and Allen. This is another one. I don't.
You forgot Louis Pena Garcia.
Oh shit!
I don't think either of us done tape, have we?
Like, I haven't seen that either. Yeah.
I've heard decent things about Garcia from people I respect, but like, yeah, he's rarely sort of dominating enough to justify minus 300 in my book. But like, just pass.
Still pretty good at the same time.
He's good. He's good, definitely. He just kind of has. He has top. He doesn't necessarily hold top position as much as he wants to, and that sort of stuff. And it's just like Pena is too capable of giving away a close decision for no reason.
For sure.
It's just like, I'd take a minus 300 if he's against an absolute corpse, but like against somebody of warm blood, it's just too.
Yeah.
Pena does enough stupid shit.
Yeah, and we haven't taped, but like, just blind. If the guy's like decent, then yeah.
Speaking of unreliability, meme grappling man versus meme pullout man.
Yeah. I don't really know. I don't really know this. I need to tape a little bit. Like this fight, I whenever I saw the matchup, I didn't really have strong opinions either way. I like that Allen has processed to his game of just kind of going for takedowns, But Breese is like a pretty good striker overall, and he is competent on the mat. He can use leg locks to kind of escape and sweep. So I tend to think Breese is like the better fighter overall, but I wouldn't be surprised if Allen kind of got his takedowns going either, if that makes sense.
Allen's not very positionally sound, but it's kind of an issue. I've played Breese small just because I've got a feeling, I feel like Breese can tank. There's a big striking gap here, and I think Breese does definitely. I think Breese could edge him on the grappling even, and also there's decent size. There's also a decent size advantage. It's like 6'3" against.
No, I think they're pretty similar from what I remember.
Fair enough. It's like an inch. I remember Breese being very long. I think Breese should generally have him covered in skill set. But the issue is like, and he trains out of Drysdale and all that, which should be a decent camp for grappling. But I just kind of I think Breese should be the kind of high level operator, but like I'm just kind of put down a small medium play.
Yeah, I think I agree that Breese should probably win the more that I think about it. But
just flicking through props. Breese submission at plus 850 is not bad. Like Allen kind of leaves holes for getting tapped.
Yeah, I could see it. I do want to look at that. I've like taped almost every fight in this card, except I need to look at this one a little more and probably Tybura Spivac, but whatever. Phillips and Davison, that fight's canceled. Silva and Phillips. I have a small play on Silva here. I just think he's a way better grappler than Phillips, and Silva just on the fights that I've seen him, I've been clocking him at attempting a takedown every minute and a half, and I just think that's very important. Like just when people do what their advantage is and they keep doing it, and I just think he's a very good grappler, and I had a pretty good read on that Borg fight and Silva fight, and usually Borg dominates.
That's not bad. Fuck. Silva sub plus 655.
Oh yeah, but
I'll take that.
Usually, like dominates any Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu based fighter, and it's the folk style wrestlers who give him issues. But like Silva's wrestling is actually very good, and I kind of like had noticed that, and I think people were thinking Bontorin could kind of do what Silva did, but better. But I could see the difference between Bontorin and Silva kind of on tape.
Yep. Yeah.
Going into that Borg Bontorin fight, and I think Silva's actually very good, and I think he's going to probably out-grapple him. But I think there's enough lack of data versus high-level competition for both guys to where I don't want to go big on the play. I'm just going a unit.
Yeah, it's fair.
Yeah.
Kind of great. I like Silva to kind of win a grappling match since Phillips will kind of play into it, and also he's fairly positionally sound too. Like some jiu-jitsu guys, they just get stuck in their own guard or something like that, and fuck that.
Yeah, Phillips just plays guard, and I just feel like that's plays into Silva's game, you know.
Yeah.
And Silva works to his feet very well too, and he has sweeps, and I just think he's gonna out grapple him, but we'll see. Like Phillips isn't a bad fighter or anything. He's like kind of a fighter, but I just think Silva has an elite skill set and will probably keep going to it. But Minner and Dawson, it's sub or bust for Minner, I think.
Fuck Minner. I'm just pissed off. I'm pissed off a Minner for that Herbert Burns fight. It was like plus 600. He was annihilating Burns and he just jumps into a fucking triangle. Choose a night contender.
Yeah. There are people who are like playing Burns too. Like
it just pissed me off because I think in terms of like pure line value, that was probably like one of the best lines of the year. And then Burns just kind of hits like a plus 300 win condition.
The thing about Minner, though, is he consistently will be dominating someone and then he just gets tapped.
Sure.
I honestly would not be surprised if he's just like winning the first couple of minutes of this fight and then Dawson just gets on top and pounds him out, you know?
Yeah, sure.
That's probably what's going to happen. That's probably like happens like half the time.
Fuck, inside TD is minus 400.
I agree. I agree with that too. Like I honestly have you taped this like deep?
I've taped Dawson and Minner separately in the past, but like not on the top of my head. I don't know, it's minus 400 for a featherweight fight. It always feels a little weird.
I understand it feels weird, but just go watch Minner. Like dude, he's a fucking like he's a wild man with his subs, and so like either he gets them or he gets like mounted. Like he's a psychopath. He kind of reminds me of, although I think Bermudez is probably a better grappler. He kind of reminds me of Manny Bermudez, where like he can do some really good offensive subs, but he's not like a black belt or anything, you know. Yeah. He can get caught in really bad positions himself, and that's why I thought people were nuts for thinking Bermudez was going to just go out there and sub Casey Kenny, you know. So like Casey Kenny's a fucking really good grappler. This isn't just going to be a thing where you guard arm bars him.
I mean, even like really good, if you just throw crazy shit at good grapplers, you can still kind of catch them sometimes.
Yeah.
Just based on the dynamic, but yeah, it's like, yeah, it's unlikely. What's it thinking in terms of that? Minnow around 1 plus 1175. I don't know. Like Dawson's also kind of a crazy person. Like I could see these two just doing crazy shit.
Yeah, Dawson's positionally sound though. Like as far as
I know, but Dawson will just dive into him, kind of.
Yeah, true. Like he'll throw down for sure and just like go after him.
I can just see crazy shit happening here. Minnow is dangerous enough that like I don't know, like if you can get around 1 plus 1175, I think that's an awful play. But like, yeah, Dawson should just dominate him through tempo and what Dawson does.
For sure. I think if you want to play Minner round 1 plus 1175 is probably the way to go because I don't think he can really win a decision here, and I don't think he's gonna like finish Dawson down the stretch. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, it could happen. It's MMA, but it's just my thoughts. Megan Anderson and Norma Dumont. Do you even want to talk about this?
Nah, honestly, who gives a fuck? Megan Anderson is a meme, and Norma Dumont is in the UFC to fight Megan Anderson.
Yeah, Megan by toenail eye poke. Cutelaba and Ankalaev.
Cutelaba by toenail eye poke.
This is a good fight. Like, I think Ankalaev should. I think he's like better defensively, and I think that is going to be the key. Cutelaba puts up. He has. So the thing about Cutelaba, I know some smart people who are playing him actually as a dog, and they're kind of talking about his striking ratio, but a lot of it is because he just like teed off on Antigulov. Like he's not just going to tee off on Ankalaev and just land at will, you know?
Yeah.
So, and then also like their striking just defense, there's a big difference in that. And even though Ankalaev can, like against Abreu, sometimes he can be a little low volume at times. And that's kind of like what people say about Ankalaev, but he doesn't get hit at all. And if you come after him, which I think Cutelaba will, like he'll tee off on you, like he did it versus Dolce.
I was just wondering in randomly. Clinton the Bray is not bad. He didn't look very good at the time, but honestly, I feel like we've seen some decent performances out of him going forward.
And he really had nothing for Ankalaev. Like Ankalaev didn't blow him out of the water on the total strikes or anything, but he still landed more strikes and he was landing like very hard shots throughout.
Yeah, I'm just randomly sidebarring. Abreu is a better win in hindsight than it seemed like at the time, in my opinion.
This fight, like I think I'm getting like a read where, you know how Wonder Boy will have just staring contests at times?
Yeah.
Against Luque, I thought about playing him, and people who kind of get weird about Wonder Boy because he won't throw strikes at times.
Yeah.
The thing is, like when he's fighting a counter striker, that's when it happens. Like Woodley won't do anything. I don't even know what Woodley is as a striker. And then Till kind of just bounces around too. Where against Luque comes after you, and that so it forces Wonder Boy to throw, and I think that's going to happen here. Like Cutelaba will come after you, and I feel like Ankalaev is going to be there throwing more often than people might realize. But
I remember that fucking Wonder Boy Luque fight. Wonder Boy KO was like, I think ITD was plus 700.
Did he end up getting the KO?
No, he beat the shit out of him for the last round, but like he could have been stopped like 2 or 3 times. Like I had the RTD and I was annoyed.
Yeah, he beat
just like once after round 1, Luque kind of ran out of ideas, and Wonder Boy was just happy. Like Luque never stopped coming forward, which is a credit to him.
Yeah,
but, like you could say Wonder Boy once Wonder Boy had his time, Luque was fucked. Probably the same sort of thing here, where like Cutelaba could probably have some early success off pure athleticism and just kind of explosion.
I just think he's going to open himself up later, though. You know,
I also always think you kind of wake the guy up by going crazy on him at the start of the fight.
Yeah,
and then he'll just I'm not saying he's getting revenge, but it's like one of those things which is like you just give him enough reason to start really coming forward.
Yeah, and I still think Cutelaba's striking ratio is a little skewed because I mean, when you outland someone 50 something to like 2 or whatever the fuck it was against Antigulov, that fight's just not as you can't just assume he has that same striking ratio like against Ankalaev. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. It's going to be different.
Yeah, because like just looking quickly at Cutelaba's general striking ratios, most of them have been sort of more shit kickings, and they have really been about him showing those ratios in like competitive kickboxing matches.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Like this is gonna be another future one, but I've heard people try to use Weili Zhang's striking, like trying to say she's got the same pace as Joanna.
Yeah.
Like half of Zhang's volume has come from ground and pound, or her just shit kicking
Aguilar and others. Yeah.
Yes. That's the thing. It's like you need to clean the data to just put like relevant, like what does this person's tempo in ordinary competitive kickboxing look like?
Yeah, like sometimes I get criticism because I'm more of a slave to the numbers than probably you. Like I know you pay attention. Just like in general, I think I pay attention to numbers more than the average bettor. But like I'm not I'm still watching the fucking fights, you know? I understand you have to adjust. And that's the thing. Like I'm interested in like I'm probably playing Joanna, to be honest. And she shouldn't be plus 170 or whatever. And it's just they have the same striking ratio. but Joanna's done it in like hours upon hours of cage time.
Yep.
And Zhang's had a few fights, and like one of them was a shit kicking like on the mat against Aguilar and other. Yeah, the pretty much exactly what you said. Where like Joanna's been doing it to everyone, and she's broken like over 100 strikes multiple times. I don't know.
I haven't landed Glover by that much. Did not know that.
Yeah, he was. He was kind of fucking him up early.
Yeah, I do remember that.
He was like really beating them up early, and then Glover started having a little more success in round 2. Like round 1 was a mismatch if you watch it. Like Cutelaba bullied him. I forget the exact numbers, but I think he might have like quadrupled him up in round 1. He was beating the fuck out of him. And then I think he was winning a little bit in round 2, and then Glover started kind of taking over, you know.
I remember I had the under in that one. I was very annoyed because it went over by a minute, but there was like multiple good finishing spots.
Yeah, Glover did have like success landing power shots in round 2. Like he started like actually kind of staggering Cutelaba, and then he got him down and subbed him. That was a fun fight.
I remember it being good. It just because I think Ankalaev is probably the best kickboxer of anybody. But like even Glover's not really that good a defensive kickboxer.
Yeah.
He's powerful in the forward, but like Glover's kind of bailed himself out of a bunch of losing kickboxing matches with his power.
Yeah.
And like, I think if anybody's all comparable in terms of skill to Ankalaev, probably Serkinov. And Ankalaev doesn't have Serkinov's issue of dying every time anybody gives him hard eye contact.
Yeah, for sure. And like Ankalaev's just pretty tough to hit. That's the thing about him. That's what in a fight like this, that's what I kind of look at, like hitability. Spencer and Fairn. Spencer should probably just out grapple her. I don't think we need to talk about this. I don't really care.
Pretty much.
Main event. I just want to say, I guess before we dive in, like Benavidez, seriously, I think he is top 10 of all time personally. And
pure skill.
I would have to think about it more, like, and really construct a list, but he's definitely like a guy who would come to mind. And if you look at his record, his losses are Dominic Cruz twice.
And giving up like 15 pounds to Cruz.
Yeah, Mighty Mouse twice, and one of them was a split. And then he lost to Sergio Pettis in a split that he honestly might have won too. You know, it was just kind of just a weird performance. Like he got dropped in round 1, and so that lost them that round. But I thought Benavidez took round 2 and 3. But I don't know, in 33 fights, losing like a weird split like that is understandable, you know? But yeah, like just looking at his wins, it's crazy because like, were you watching the sport a lot, like around that like 2008, 2009 era? Like he's just been around forever. Like guys like Miguel Torres, who were main eventing, you know, cards when Benavidez was around and Benavidez was good. Like those guys have kind of fallen off. And it's crazy how Benavidez has just been really, really good for so long. And he's even beating good modern fighters. Like it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, like he started 2006. His first kind of name win was 2009 against Karen.
Yeah.
And he just kept going. Like, that's an incredible year. He's been relevant. He's been essentially one of the top 5 guys at 2 weight classes for 11 years.
Yeah, he's lost 3 divisions in those 5 fights, and he's lost to 3 guys, and he lost
one fairly meme knockout.
Yeah, a meme knockout by Mighty Mouse, and he lost a split to all 3 of those guys he's lost to, you know? So like no one has like just fucked him up really, you know?
Yeah, pretty much. And it's been generally great competition as well.
Yeah, that Ortiz fight was still just like really fun, and he fucked up Alex Perez too, and I think Alex Perez is really good.
Definitely.
Anyway, I think I'm staying away from this fight just to start off the top, but my fear, like my brain's kind of telling me Benavidez, and I feel like he should win, but kind of like my gut is with like literally zero evidence. So this was scientific analysis. Like I'm kind of thinking for some reason I think Figueiredo is going to win, but I like don't even know why. But the struggle with Figueiredo fights, and I always talk about it, and I never really play them, is he actually I'm usually playing against the kind of hurt you or bust guy, but Davison just does it so much, and his athletic, so it makes his fights high variance, and he's so athletic that sometimes you can't just like look at tape and predict what's going to happen. You know, like, he might just like throw a random flying knee or something that you can't really predict that. I feel, um, but I feel like Benavidez is overall just like probably the better fighter, but Benavidez does kind of throw himself into shots at times, and I don't know. Wouldn't be surprised to see either guy win, but I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I personally like the inside distance. I feel that I don't think Figueiredo wins the decision at any significant clip. Just because, like, Figueiredo needs to win 3 rounds. Assuming it's 5 rounds, so he has to win 3 rounds.
Yeah,
And like, he'd probably have to chain together 3 huge moments. And if he's got 3 huge moments, he's probably got the finish.
yeah,
Like, even against Pantoja, where it's just like, Pantoja was kind of coming back in it was kind of coming back around 2 and 3, done by huge moments, kind of pulling it back to Figueiredo.
yeah. But that's the thing about Figueiredo.
I know he consistently has them. I'm just like, I think Joe Benavidez I don't think Joe Benavidez's durability is as late as it used to be, and I just don't really necessarily trust him to survive. Like, Pantoja is incredibly durable, incredibly tough. I don't think Benavidez is quite that level anymore in terms of just pure toughness.
Yeah,
I mean, he's still tough. I mean, he's just not that durable anymore. Like, Pantoja is like legitimately one of the best chins in the sport,
yeah,
and does not go away. Whereas I feel like Benavidez could be one of those things where just like Benavidez is winning the first 6 minutes of the fight and just blitzes in early in round 2, gets hit by an uppercut and dies.
yeah, yep.
Like, that's kind of I just have a strong feeling, but also like inside distance. Cause I also think that if this goes deep, I think Benavidez could definitely sub him. Like, Benavidez isn't really a guy who's just going to take top position and cruise for a decision.
Yeah, he's kind of he like goes for finishes too.
And I don't think Figueiredo's cardio holds for 25 minutes.
And Benavidez is kind of an underrated, just like he's got some pop too. Like he's
definitely.
And even just like if he gets a good position against you on the mat, like he can take you out with punches too, or he's got a really good guillotine. Like, yeah, no, and I just feel like could be a very wild fight. So like, I feel you on the doesn't go the distance. Wow, it's plus 130. Holy shit.
Well, it's still in the plus odds.
Oh my god, I didn't realize that. Yeah, I tend to think this is going to end inside the distance too, but
yeah, I could see either late sub or KO just on sort of volume and presence for Benavidez, or Figueiredo just decapitating him inside the first round or 2.
yeah.
Saying that, Figueiredo does live to delight to change everybody's expectations, so he's going to put a wrestling clinic on Benavidez for 50-43, just because he can.
Yeah.
Like, I've made some decent money on Figueiredo in the past, but like I feel like he just he's so talented. He just kind of randomly restructures his game a lot.
Yeah, it's just one of those fights where like if you told me Benavidez just kind of schooled him, I'd be like, oh yeah. But then if you were like, yeah, Davison just kind of like kept hurting him and fucked him up and knocked him dead, I'd be like, yeah. I don't know.
Pretty much.
But like still though, like I know this is kind of broadly speaking, Benavidez still like every fighter he's ever fought, he's beat or he's gone to a split with, So it's still hard to just fuck him up. I don't know. Like the only time he got KO'd was just randomly by Mighty Mouse, which was I think a meme KO personally. But yeah. So I don't know. Like I just it's a weird one. It's a weird one. I don't like Pettis dropping him either. In that fight. I know it was a couple times ago, and it looks like Benavidez has kind of looked better fight since, but I don't know.
just looking at other prices, plus 120 on Figueiredo, no scorecards, isn't bad. I think they can both finish, but I just feel like if it goes to decision, I think if I had a prop which was Benavidez scorecards, I'd price Benavidez like minus 400. If it goes 5, I think Benavidez has a massive chance of winning the decision.
Yeah, it's nice if you played Figueiredo plus 120, which is like pretty much the same as his money line, and you can get the cards out of there for sure.
Because I think I think the cards. I think it's like there's like a 25% chance it goes to the cards, but there's like, I mean, there's probably like a 30% chance it goes to the cards, but I think there's like a 5% chance of Figueiredo decision. I think Figueiredo decision would have to be a weird mix of circumstances.
It would be like the Pantoja stuff, just like kind of like him just landing some big shots throughout the fight,
Yeah, but still, it's over 25 minutes.
It'd be like a
Pantoja.
It would be like a Romero thing.
Fucking up until the end.
What's up?
Pantoja was kind of like pouring volume on the end of that fight.
Yeah.
Like, I'm more confident Benavidez is a cardio than I am with Pantoja's.
Yeah, I could see even though Romero didn't get the decision versus Whitaker. Like, remember Whitaker was just dominating the minutes like for like multiple rounds, and then all of a sudden Romero like nearly killed him twice. Just like it ended up being, even though Whitaker got the decision, it made it very close on the cards, and that's probably Davison's way of winning on the cards. But I think Davison fights are very, very hard to call because I mean we've seen him kind of get. I mean, Formiga pretty much dominated him, and like he still had a close fight versus Jared Brooks. Like if you avoid getting hurt, he is very beatable, but it's hard to kind of predict if he's going to hurt someone. So that's kind of my thoughts. But I'm excited for that fight, though. But
yeah, agreed.
Well, I think that's pretty much everything. And then the next card's UFC 248, which we'll both be at. So, that's a great card, 248. Like there's some good ones on there for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Romero, Whitaker. I mean, Romero Adesanya. I think will still be fun. I think Adesanya should cruise it, but Romero, Figueiredo is really the flyweight Romero. Very similar characters.
Pretty much, yeah.
Just ungodly athletes. Fuck, Adesanya. Romero's out plus 220. I'm not disagreeing the prize. I'm just surprised that I didn't say they'd gone out that far.
I would like. I think Adesanya is very good. I mean, I played him versus Whitaker, so obviously I like him. But I kind of think that price is too wide. Like I don't know, Romero. I thought he looked pretty good against Costa. Just like the more that fight was going, it kind of like looked at that. Like I feel like if that went 5 rounds, Romero was very live, and I don't know, he just always seems to land. So it just kind of, I think that, I mean, Adesanya just had a war with Gastelum,
Sure.
I just thought Whitaker was being a little overrated going into that Adesanya fight, but yeah, I don't know, but that card's going to be good, so we'll talk about it this week. But good luck on your plays this week, and yeah, man, have fun, I guess. How long are you in New Orleans? Just a couple more days?
I'm leaving tomorrow. I think I'm off to somewhere else, Boston.
Oh, nice. Boston's cool.
Yeah, I've heard good things about just going for PAXs.
Oh,
it's big gaming convention thing. Should be fun.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, if you want any recommendations, just message me. I was just there I was there in October, so.
Oh yeah, that's good. I'm not there for very long, it's only issue, but yeah, it should be good.
Cool. All right, man. Well, I'll see you. Thanks for everyone who's listening this week too.
Yep. Have a good one. Bye.
See you, man.